Hi, future designers. I'm Charlene Reed. I'm a professor and the program coordinator of the interior design program here at Orange Coast College. Today, I wanted to talk with you a little more about the program here, what we offer, and how to navigate through it. So, I'm going to start with talking about the different certificates available in the program and get ready here to share my screen. We offer several certificates and an associate in science degree here. I'm on the Orange Coast College website, and the best way to find anything on this website is simply by clicking on the search button and typing in what you want. So if you type in interior design, this is the first page that will come up. And it talks about the program, the types of courses. But what I really want to get into is the sequencing of classes available. So this middle section here called program details is where we can find that information. So we'll go ahead and click into the course catalog and you can see the various degrees and certificates here that we offer. One thing to note is our program is sequenced in levels, and if you do complete all of the levels, you will have completed 4 out of 5 of these certificates and degrees just by completing all of the classes. And with a few extra classes, you can also earn the kitchen and bath certificate of specialization. So let's go ahead and click on the level 3 full program. And coming into the program sequence here, I feel, a really easy sequence to follow. And it closely resembles the planning worksheet that we've prepared for you to fill out as well. When you are planning classes, it's one thing to kind of keep in mind. There are prerequisites, which are noticed on the planning worksheet. But if I look at year one, um, with this level 1 certificate, if this is your goal, then the general ed is not required. If your goal is level 2 and the associate in science degree, then these general ed classes are required, and we're making suggestions about where you might fit them in. With level 1, the classes are offered each semester, fall and spring. But this is sort of the sequence recommendation that semester 1 would be fall, and these are the recommended classes if you're a full-time student. And then with semester 2, these are the recommended classes if you're a full-time student. If you're a part-time student, you can choose 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever your schedule allows. This program is designed sequentially, so classes build on one another from one level to the next. And students have completed the full program in as little as 2.5 years. And some have been here many, many years as their part-time students, and that's what works best for their schedule. As we get into level 2, this is important also to remember that semester 1 again is a fall semester, and semester 2 would be a spring semester. You are welcome to start classes in fall or spring. As we get into level 2, more of the courses do have prerequisites, and there are a few that are fall only versus spring only, and those are noted on the planning worksheet. So I'm going to go ahead and click over to that. And as we look at the planning worksheet, we're calling this third semester and fourth semester, but that would be fall, spring. And this category over here, this column will tell you if the class is offered both semesters, S and F for spring and fall, or fall only, or down here in the fourth semester, there are a few that are spring only. So typically our Design Com 3 illustration and our lighting class are fall only, and our construction documents, professional practice, and portfolio class are spring only. On occasion, we might be able to offer a fall class in the spring if there's demand for it, but it's not a regular occurrence. So this is something that you should refer to as you're doing your planning. The counselors don't always have this information on hand. It's available, and you're welcome to bring this planning worksheet as you meet with counselors. And this would probably be really helpful to them as well to help you plan. As we get a little deeper into level three is one additional semester of classes and a little more advanced. So you have an additional studio class, you have codes, and you have the BIM class where you're learning the Revit software. So completing these additional three classes, and codes is the only one that is fall only. The others are also available in spring, so you can sort of mix them in as your schedule allows. But completing all three levels is important because it gives you enough units to qualify to take the NCIDQ exam. If you're planning to practice in California or outside of California, it is really the standard professional level of certification that a designer can earn. In California, we also have certification by the CCIDC, and finishing the AS degree in level two does qualify you to sit for that IDEX exam in California. There's a lot happening in terms of legislation and recognition of NCIDQ right now. So the highest level is always recommended if you have the time, to go on and earn that full program requirement. So between this site and your planning worksheet, as you are planning for your future here, no matter what your goals are, take this with you to the counselor so they can help you choose classes based on when the offerings are available. That will give you the most success in terms of meeting with the counselor. Okay, let's have a look at the general education requirements and where to find them and a little more information about that. So with the AS degree, and now I'm in the catalog section of the website, you'll want to look up the catalog for the year that you began at Orange Coast College. So I'm on the current year, but if you started a year prior or even 2 or 3 years prior, you'll want to pull up that catalog year because you have catalog rates based on when you began the program. And you maintain those catalog rates unless you have had more than one semester of absence from the college. So let's say you started in the spring and then you don't take another class until the following spring, you would still maintain the catalog rights. But if you took 2 semesters off, so a year in between, then you need to look at the catalog rights for, or the catalog requirements for that new year, which shouldn't really change all that much, but there might be some nuances worth looking at just so there are no surprises. The AS degree requirements are listed here. So you can kind of go in and look at the categories and what you need to take. And then again, on your planning worksheet, you might see area two. And here's GE area two, where we've listed, sometimes we've listed a recommended class, and sometimes we've just listed, any class of your choice from that general education area. Something else to consider is many of you ask about transferring to university, and that is wonderful. But something to think about is when you do transfer, you can only transfer up to 60 units from a community college into a university. There are usually 60 units of lower division general education plus 9 units of upper division education required at the university level. So it makes the most sense for you to take as many general education units for transfer to your university at OCC while you're here, which also means maybe your design classes will not all transfer over. But that's okay because you may have earned a certificate by taking those classes, and you may have also solidified that this is what you want to do, and you'll be prepared for what's coming. If you are interested in transfer, I would follow more closely this CalGETC general ed requirements and then see how they match up to the AS degree so that you are not taking either classes where if I choose something out of area 3, for example, um, this is the one where if I look at area 3 for the CalGETC transfer, I'm not seeing my interior design classes. Whereas for the AS degree, I am seeing that my interior design, um, color theory, and history classes count for this category. So for transfer, they might not count. So this is something to talk about with the counselor. In area 3B, however, you may find a class, for example, comm studies, intro to public speaking counts for this as well as for the CalGETC requirement. So if you're transferring, this is just something else to think about while you're going through there. I don't have access to DegreeWorks as a faculty member, which is where you do choose a lot of your classes because you were following a plan and then you're picking the classes from the plan. Um, I do want to give you another tool, however, for looking at the available classes and your planning. And that is making sure that you know you can look up the classes through the class schedule. And for example, let's go ahead and look up our summer classes. And this actually allows you to look at classes in all 3 colleges in the district. You'll only be able to take interior design classes at OCC, but you might find a general ed class at Golden West or Coastline that you can register for here too. But we'll look at interior design classes. So I'll go ahead and search interior design. And this is what is available for the summer. And if you wanted a specific class, if there were multiple sections of a class, you can take this CRN number, course record number, and type it into your DegreeWorks versus picking from the list. So if you wanted a specific instructor or a specific time out of several classes, this is what you would want to look for. So while we're looking at summer, we do have some offerings that might be of interest. We're offering our BIM class, the software class where we learn Revit. We're offering our color theory class. And if you haven't yet taken the fundamentals, that will be offered in an online format, and there's still a few seats left in that section. So think about summer, maybe for an interior design class, or maybe for one of your general ed classes that you want to focus on um, as a one class session before you hit the fall semester. Okay, let's see if I got through everything I wanted to get through about the program, and I do think I did. But I'm hoping that all of that helped make this planning worksheet make more sense. I also want to invite you to reach out to me. Part of my job here is to help you and counsel you and give you advice on your schedule and maybe what classes to take. I'm not a general ed counselor, but with the program, I do the scheduling and I know generally what's coming up and what modality the classes are in, and I'm happy to help you. Every one of you has your own path, your own journey, and your own time frame for and your own goals. So I think some of you may be here through level one, some of you may transfer, some of you may be here through level two and three. And many of you work and have families and have responsibilities. And that's all okay because we all belong here and we can all find a place within the industry where we're going to fit in best. So feel free to reach out to me. You can send me an email. We can set up a meeting either over Zoom or in person. I am teaching this summer, so I'll be on campus a lot of the Thursdays for the BIM class. I'd love to see some of you there. And I'm excited that you're all here. And thanks for your time today.